Hi, I'm JB, and welcome to my video series. These are videos I've created to support my efforts to become a certified digital marketer through Simplilearn, so please like and share my videos to help me get certified. Today we're going to talk about mobile data collection. Do you know what your apps are doing? First off, what's an SDK? SDK stands for Software Development Kit. They're basically blocks of pre-written code you can insert into an app so you don't have to start from scratch. They already know how to talk to a device and provide standardized ways for a device to communicate with you, your service providers, or other third parties. The problem is, if you're not careful, you could end up installing a bunch of code you don't need and end up collecting or sharing a lot more data than you thought. And if you don't know you're collecting data, you're probably not disclosing that. And you may be using data without the appropriate consent. When that happens, people tend to get upset. They tend to complain, sue, or get the regulators involved. By my count, there have been some 25 actions related to alleged surreptitious collection of data from mobile devices in the past 9 months. Of these, 9 have resulted in regulatory action, 11 have been the targets of private litigation, and 5 have been disciplined through industry standard processes. While some actions have only resulted in bad press or name and shame enforcement, some have had real financial consequences. There have been almost $20 million in negotiated settlements for alleged unexpected or undisclosed collection and use of data from mobile devices. And don't forget, where there is a consent decree, there are additional costs associated with demonstrating ongoing compliance to the regulators. Note that this number could have been higher, but in the InMobi case, a $4 million penalty was reduced to $950,000 based on the company's ability to pay. And the InMobi case is a great example of an SDK allegedly doing some unexpected things. According to the FTC, the InMobi SDK was configured by default to collect Wi-Fi information to create a geocoder database to infer consumer latitude and longitude. This was allegedly done independent of a specific app developer's intent to collect and use location information, as well as independent of a consumer's location settings on a mobile device. Fortunately, in this case, the FTC went after the SDK maker and not the companies who use the InMobi SDK. It will be interesting to see how the FTC handles future cases where it feels an app developer should have been on notice that an SDK was suspect. For example, in the Silverpush case, the FTC warned app developers the SDK could be used to monitor consumers' television viewing through use of audio beacons emitted by TVs without consumers' knowledge or consent. So anyone using Silverpush is on notice. So how can you tell what your app is doing? The best way is to have your IT shop set up a lab where you can view traffic coming from and going to your mobile app. Fortunately, that may not always be an option. There are some basic tools you can use to get started. For example, tools like Norton Mobile Security can provide a basic check engine light to test your app. Green is good, and you can get a summary of some basic app functionality. Red means take another look, as potential privacy risks have been identified. I should note that in the example here I'm referring to a call blocking app that I use. Since it blocks calls, of course it needs to access my call logs, and I'm fine with that. The point here is it's nice to have a tool to help point out the things you'll want to look for. If you're more technically inclined, you might want to check out a sniffer like tPacket Capture. It can tell you the specific sources and destinations of data to and from your app, and things like whether the data is encrypted in transmission. Granted, it can be tough to try to read PCAP files on your phone. That's why it's best to work with your IT department. Alternatively, you can engage a vendor like CryptoWire to provide scanning services. They're the company the Online Interest-Based Advertising Accountability Program, or OIDAAP, announced it is using in its compliance efforts. However you do it, you want to keep an eye on your mobile developers and make sure privacy by design is being implemented. That means knowing what your apps need, knowing what your apps are actually doing, and that includes any imported code from any third-party SDKs, turning off the functions you don't need, getting consent for the things that you do, making sure your privacy policies are updated and are clearly and conspicuously posted in the app and on the App Store. I'm JB, and that's my humble opinion. Thanks for watching.